Hello, hello. We'll start in a few minutes, see if anybody else is coming. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our lives. Listen, 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 Linda. Today was a day that I believe the defense went home and had them a good old swig of scotch. No, they probably didn't. They had juice, not fooling around with the accuser and her alleged drinking issues. They probably didn't. But today was a good day for the defense. They came off Friday, with a hiccup, a little setback, but they came back roaring back with these witnesses. I think they have what, maybe one more witness to come through, and that's the end of this. So we're going to go over all this information. I'm going to share my screen again. First of all, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of the subscribers that I have. Uh, I understand that I got this from this Jonathan Majors thing, and I still hope that you all will continue to rock with me after this trial. I will be covering other trials that are coming forth, because I'm finding that this is something that I'm also liking to do while I'm reviewing movies and television series and things like that. Y'all, I've got over 400 subscribers. And I couldn't be more stoked, and I thank every last one of you all for subscribing to my channel. So we're going to get into what we got to get in, because I know if you like me, you got to get up and you got to go to work, child. All right. Again, please, as you come in, hit that like button. Hit that like button. That helps with my engagement. That helps with my engagement. I appreciate you. And for whatever platform that you are watching, if you are watching on Twitter, please engage me over on Twitter. If you're watching on Facebook, please engage me on Facebook. And if you're watching here on YouTube, hey, please leave me some comments down in the thing and let's go. Now, last night, I put up a small video, a short video, asking you all, did you all think that Jonathan Majors should testify? And I got a lot of engagement to that, some mixed reactions. So I just wanted to real briefly share some of the comments that I got. We got B Smith 5379. He said, Jonathan Major should not take the stand. There is no need, and the prosecution's pretty much beat itself. Sure. Yes. Yes. I have here from Pink Lady 1478. It is a long one, but I'm gonna read it anyway. She says, I feel Jonathan should get on the stand after Friday. So she must be talking about the text messages. Clear himself as a woman beater, denying her medical care. He won't, because prosecution will destroy him. I really wish the other I guess that's alleged victims could have spoke on stand. However, like the judge said, all she wants the jury to focus on is March 25th. What happened in the for hire SUV? Yes, she took his cell phone. He should be found innocent. I totally agree with that. I'm so glad God entered the courtroom and had defense expose text to prove he's a monster. He might not be going to jail. However, it's out. He has put hands on her in the past and alleged victims out there. His career is done. He can do Tubi movies and keep his hands off women. I'm reading both sides, so that's why I'm reading. I'm just reading what they said. If you sent me a text in regards to this, I'm going to read your stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Shogun Order said he doesn't have a real good explanation for these recent hits. Don't testify. I know he wants to speak, but he knows the prosecutors are going to do everything in their power to trio his words up to bring in these other alleged victims. So I don't know. I personally would, but he don't know what skeletons he has in his closet. She dreads me says he shouldn't testify because if I'm the prosecutor, the first question I'm going to ask is, how did you get your phone back? Let's see. Let's see. I think that's probably going to be the last one that I'm going to read. Yeah, that's the last one I'm going to read. So there was a mixed bag between you all about whether or not he should testify. I've always said no. There is no need to testify to and give clarity to anything because, like I said, those text messages that came out on Friday, they gave no clarity. I was just watching Dre Max, the Blurred AF show, and Danny was on there, and she made a point that I didn't realize that those text messages was talking about was that same incident where they were talking about the Coretta Scott King and all of this other stuff. That's where that came from. So she recorded that conversation, after she had come home inebriated. And so she decided that she was going to take that conversation. So that text is coming from, and we don't know what came before it, behind it, after it, in the middle, but it was all in one section. It wasn't like the way she was making it out on the stand that this was happening over months and months and months and months and months. So, as the judge said, they can use that as background information, but they can't use that information as evidence. Uh, that's where I'm going to leave it. So let's get to what we're talking about today. We are talking about today's testimony. But let me see who is all in here so I can say hello, hello, hello. Hello, James. Thank you. Thank you. Please hit that like button. If you're in here, that's your entrance fee. That helps me in my engagement. Hit that like button, people. James said it again. I'm awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you. Milton, what you got to say? Hello, Pam. Hello to you. Hey, hey, Wonder Woman 780. Hello, Miss Sissy Majors. How are you today? Thank you for so much. You're welcome. Like I said, we are just up here giving the information out, and everybody else will have to make their decisions what they need to make. Hey, Gray. Let me tell you something. Your emoji game is A1. No, I mean you quick with it too. Love that. Love that. Ernest Claiborne, let's go. Let's go. Hey, Keita, how you doing? Let's go. Let's go over this. So, what I like to do first is show you what the headlines say, give you just a little quick little synopsis of what the headlines say, and then we're going to go with our person who has been in the courtroom, putting the information out for us as it goes down, not picking and choosing which part is the sensational part that you want to publish, because we want the information, not all the sensational stuff. So let's get to it. Let's see. Is this it? I believe. So let's get to this. This is the Independent. And it says here Jonathan Majors trial live. Driver testifies against Grace Jabari in domestic violence case. I think this is the one that updates. Speaking at the trial on Monday, the driver of the black Cadillac that transported Jonathan Majors and Grace Jabari on March 25th said he thought that the dancer hit the actor in the alleged altercation. Through an Urdu interpreter, the driver said he recalled the dancer demanding to see the actor's phone. The girl became very angry. The boy wanted to get rid of the girl and he opened the door, the driver said, according to Courthouse News. I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him sliply slide because he's telling the truth. But I don't know if I like all that boy and girl stuff. But I'm gonna let it slide because he could be old enough to be their parents. I'm gonna let it slide. It says here he was trying to get rid of her. He continued. He was saying, "Leave me alone. I have to go." The driver added he was not doing anything. One more again, right here. He was trying to get rid of her. He continued. He was saying, leave me alone. I have to go. The driver added, he was not doing anything. She was doing it. So the driver testified. He's the only other person in that car that testified, that said Jonathan Majors didn't do anything but try to get away from her. He did say that he saw him push her, but on a scale, I think it was to 1 to 10, it appeared to be a 3. So it wasn't like a football or like they had promoted in the opening argument. So I wanted to share that and get back here. Before I go to Danny's stuff, I'm wondering if I could do it side by side. I don't have one to do that. And that's okay. We can go back and forth. This is what I want to add to stage. Now, I'm just telling you now, my copy is all written up and everything like that. You remember when Priya Chaudhry wrote this initial April 18th letter describing what happened, and she sent this to the prosecution to get this case, that was the initial ask to get this case dismissed. And you see here where it says what really happened. And I'm wondering if I can make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. This is the best we're going to be able to do because, I need an editor. It says, as witnessed by the driver who saw and heard everything just before 1 a.m., Ms. Jabari assaulted Mr. Majors in a car. She was attempting to steal his phone. The driver will testify that Mr. Majors never struck Ms. Jabari, and he did, in any way, at any time, or even raised his voice. And instead, while Ms. Jabari was hitting, scratching, and attacking Mr. Majors. Now you remember, hitting, scratching. You remember his scratch here? You remember the scratch on his arm? But she claims she wasn't doing all that. But the evidence shows that something happened, that she did do that. Mr. Majors begged the driver to open the door so that he can jump out of the car and escape. The driver will testify that he unlocked the door to help Mr. Majors escape. Mr. Jabari then attacked Mr. Majors on the street as he tried to run away from her. In doing so, and in trying to prevent him from escaping, she ripped his coat buttons and tore his coat pocket, but he got away. That blurb right there is basically what the driver said on the stand today. Basically said it. So we're going to hold a pin in that. We're going to go over here. Let me see. Let me stop sharing. And let's go over here to sharing the screen. We're going to go over here to Miss Danny's Facebook page. And we're going to read what she's, let's see, we got to go down. Ooh, that's 4 days ago. We may have to go to her page, but it says here, this is from Danny Does Law and Policy and Practice. I know she said on that last live that I was on that she was still writing some information, but we will talk about this, and I'll go to her tweets and talk about Chloe and Mr. Whitehat. It said the DA met with the driver yesterday with an interpreter, and just this morning via email at 9:07 a.m. let the defense know via a Brady disclosure. Gaffey is allowing a DV expert witness to testify with very limited parameters for what she can and cannot say, including but not limited to not discussing psychological diagnosis or battered woman syndrome. So it's just, I'm interested in, that's her job, basically. So I'm interested what she is going to be, as she's going to give like an overall definition of what domestic violence is. That's interesting. And I'm surprised with the momentum that they came out of Friday with, why they didn't put her in the front. Let's see. Yes, Mr. Emoji King. Hey, Pam, I'm always on replay crew, so happy to catch a live. Glad you're here. Y'all follow Kat. Kat is doing a great job. She can get down to the last little nitty gritty minutia of everything, and keeping them accountable about what the mainstream media is talking about and what we're talking about and what they're leaving in and what they're taking out. Follow her tweets as well. It says both Chloe and her Billy Badass boyfriend testified and seemed favorable to the defense in not only establishing doubt for how and when Jabari injuries were sustained, but for her high levels of intoxication. And that's what she ran into a wall while exiting Lucy's for a cab. And I remember on the other live, I was like, well, tell me about this wall, because I hadn't heard about the wall, or I hadn't remembered about the wall. But to hear that she had hit a wall, my assumption was, how did she hit the wall? Did she hit it? Was there some pin? New York is New York, and the very last time that I remember being there years ago, there are posters and signs and things up, and there's like maybe some nails or little indentations or something in there. I was thinking maybe that's how she hurt her ear. I'm not sure if she hit and slid down this wall. But according to Danny, I mean, she hit the wall, but it wasn't enough to cause major damage. She was just showing that she was intoxicated. The other thing that Danny pointed out, that Chloe and Captain Whitecap reported, was the fact that Captain Whitehead wasn't on there but 5 minutes, and he wanted his. I don't know why I feel like he wanted his claim to fame just a little bit. Child, I'm just he just gave me like he wanted, but apparently he wasn't on there long enough. But he just testified that he didn't see any injuries on her. He testified to what she said while they were there, and then they booted him off. Chloe the same way. She testified, that after the video that we saw with them standing outside, they all went towards the Escalade. And I'm paraphrasing a lot of this. They went towards the Escalade. They followed her and Jonathan. They stood by the thing. She even mentioned that Jonathan thanked her for looking after Grace, and they went their separate ways. She claims that she didn't hear much of what they said. However, she did document and say there were no injuries that she saw with Grace. She didn't see her fingers swelling or anything like that. There were no injuries seen on her. That's crucial, because these are the people that were actually there. The SUV driver, I think the defense asked him, did he see any blood in the car? And he said no. So there was no bleeding, according to the driver in the car. So these are all good, positive things. This is where we should have started the case, honestly, with the people who were there first, and get that mindset on. But I do understand it's the prosecution taking the case. But look how far we had to go to get here. We had to literally swim through filth to get to the meat and the potatoes of the case, which is she grabbed his phone. She tried to keep it from him. She attacked him. He runs away from her. She takes chase. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but doggone it, 5 city blocks. And I don't think I will ever forget that. 5 city blocks you chase somebody that you have testified that you are afraid of. But we'll continue. Let's see. Videos, they showed videos in the courtroom, and it says, well, let me get up here. It says both Chloe and Billy testified that they have not seen or heard from Grace since 523, 5/3/25/23. They are not friends. Well, we knew that. We knew that. We knew that. And video shows Chloe hugs Grace cheek to cheek on the right side 3 to 5 times with a white shirt on, and testifies she did not ever notice any blood, bleeding, or injuries to Jabari's hand or right ear. No blood transferred onto her white shirt either. And I think that they had video footage to show some of this. And like I said, this is the information, but I'm going to go to the tweets. I'm going to go to her tweets to get more information for you all. Hold on. I bookmarked a lot of stuff, y'all. Let me see what you all are saying right now. There you go. There you go. There you There you go. Make sure you all hit that thumbs up button for me. There are 19 of you all in here, and I appreciate every last one of you. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and please, if you will, share these videos with your friend, your family, your kinfolks, your coworker, or that heifer you can't stand. Let them know I'm over here making these videos. All right, here we go. Now I'm gonna share Miss Victoria's because I think she was doing the most that I saw. I'm trying to see where the bookmark starts. I think it starts here. So that's him, his mom, and her mom. Her hair is pretty. Are those? Does she have dreads? That's absolutely gorgeous. And I think, correct me if I'm not. I'm gonna see.
Megan, what do you think about the texts?
Y'all hear that? Just put a Y or an N if you hear it or not. I'm not hearing anything. It's not.
Megan, what do you
It's
think
not
about the
display. But this was
texts?
the time someone asked you, did she hear the text? Did she hear the text? And I'm trying to see. Yeah.
Megan, what do you think about the texts?
All right. So let's get down here. This is where she's talking about the expert witness. Testimony about to start. Jonathan Majors, who's sporting a double-breasted gray suit today, is writing something we'll probably never know. She's a little whimsical and a little thing because she gets a little salty because there's some stuff that she wants to have out, but they will not allow it to come out. So every time I read her stuff, I get so tickled because she be so salty sometimes. Chloe was in the group of people whom Grace Jabari encountered after the cab incident. She testified about their meeting. She explained to me that she had just gotten out of a moving vehicle and no longer had her phone, wallet, or keys. She just found out that her significant other was cheating on her. Going to sum up what happened, Chloe and her friends stuck around because Grace was upset and Jonathan was around. The group learned that the two lived together. They were trying to figure out who would stay where. Eventually, Chloe's group wanted to go to the birthday party. They were running super late. I was the one who invited her to join us. This is important testimony. Defense has made a big thing about Jabari going to a nightclub after the alleged assault. Here's Chloe providing insight on how Jabari wound up there. That's true, but she had the option to go home because she knew that they had broken up. She had the option. She had the option. She could have gone home or she could have gone to the club. She chose to go to the club. Also, just some, okay, that was it. They were having a little thing. Chloe's done testifying. Let me see. Prosecutor called Max Manning, aka Mr. White Hat, during Chloe's testimony just now. She said she went to the club with Jabari, with her boyfriend, who she ID as Max Manning, and another friend. Remember, Chloe said that she saw Max and the other friend standing with Jabari as she left the party. And you remember that Chloe was coming up the same direction that Jonathan Majors was coming, because when she came out of the building, she made a left and she went down as she was texting, and then she came back up. Yeah, so he was grand opening, grand closing for him. Let's see. They talked with the doctor. I'd have to get with I have to get with Danny on that. But they talked with the doctor. The doctor talked about the injuries, talked about maybe she's on the verge of being, there's a technical term for it, but basically on the verge of being someone who is going to be an uncontrollable drinker. Yada yada. Let's go back. Let's go back because I prefer Danny's tweets, and that may be a bias in my own situation, but that's just how it is, y'all. That's just how it is. Where is what is this? That's December 8th. Where is Danny's tweets? Lord, let me see if I'll find any. Excuse me, y'all. I thought I had my stuff queued up. Here we go. Danny says, "Ooh wee! If ever doubt was needed, it was gotten third today. Driver Mr. Sarwar brought it home. Of note, he was saying, 'Leave me alone. I want to go.'" Let's see. She talked about Chloe testifying, and let's see. We got the highlights. That was 14 minutes ago. Let's click and see what this is. All right. Here we go. Here we go. This is what we needed. So Chloe testified that on March 24th and 25th, she was hanging out with friends to celebrate their birthday. She admitted to having a few drinks, intoxicated, but I don't believe had. Let's see. Zola testified she noticed that they were talking to someone. She didn't know who they were. That's when her boyfriend was talking to Grace. She said she heard them running out of the car. Da 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 da. So the video is played of the surveillance of the three at Lafayette. We've seen this video several times. Zola testified that Jonathan and Grace were in the car before they both came out running. At Lucy, Zola said that Jabari told her the credit card belonged to Jonathan, but she couldn't recall exactly how she said it. As respects the bucket of ice at the table, she doesn't recall which finger or injury on Grace's finger. When asked if to regulate vaping and smoking with Grace, Chloe said potentially, and I believe so. She testified that she did not see anything Grace did that night, and that she did not recall if Grace indicated any pain while holding Chloe's hand. Because you remember there's that part where she was doing Chloe's hand like this. I don't know if y'all can see me. Let's see. There are a few photos shown to emphasize the fact that Grace was against them with her right ear and no blood transferred onto their clothes. Videos plays of their approaching exacting stumbling. At the extra surveillance video show them hugging one another. And I think we're doing pretty good on that. So basically today went like this. You had the driver come in and say that he did not see unequivocally Mr. Majors hitting, banging, swinging, hands, feet, knees, toes on Mr. Bari. Other way around, the driver said that he saw Mr. Bari getting hands, feet, knees, and toes on him. He said he stopped the car, he unlocked the car to get so that Mr. Majors can jump out. He did see Mr. Majors try to make sure that she go back into the car because he didn't want her to come out. He was trying to get away from her. She kept pursuing him, and she pursued him city blocks. We had the driver testify. We had Chloe and Max to testify. I don't know if the other guy testified or not. I don't remember seeing any tweets or anything that the other guy testified. But they testified. Their testimony was key that when they came up on her and they talked with her and everything like that, she didn't have any cuts or injuries on her. She didn't appear like she had any cuts or injuries or anything on her. And she didn't mention that she had put hands, feet, knees, and toes on the man. We had the doctor to testify about her injuries, about her being at the at Bellevue. He testified about possible alcohol, and he testified about her injuries. And I'm trying to think, there was somebody else who testified, Kat or anybody that's still in here. There's one more thing about those texts. One more thing. She was at Lucy. She paid for the tab. She danced. They showed the videos. They showed the videos previously. There was one more thing, and then we heard that there's a domestic violence expert that's going to come in, I think, tomorrow. Y'all, I think we've gotten through all the witnesses. It looks like the prosecution is going to rest and the defense is going to put their case on. I don't know if I don't even know if the defense is going to put on a case. They're going to rest as well because all the information. But I do hope they will highlight some information so that they can leave the jury with something. Just highlight something. Highlight a testimony, highlight something. Play a video or something. Highlight something. So we're pretty much getting to the end. But we went this far to be able to hear from the driver, who the driver unequivocally said that Mr. Vari was the instigator of the incident. So, what are you all thinking? What are you all thinking so far about the information that you heard? I know that a lot of people were losing confidence and losing, and felt a little disappointed from the text messages that they heard, but without any context. And on all the different media outlets, everybody was just talking about those texts and didn't talk about the other things. But so tell me what you all are thinking. All right, thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. Awesome work. Thank you. The witness today were defense witnesses, even though the assistant DA put them on. But other than slander, that's all the state has, basically, because if they go on that day, listen to the witnesses. You called the officer on there. The officer testified that his paperwork was wrong. He said that she had a cut behind her eye. Now, I'm just going to give that as a typo, that maybe he meant ear, but he put eye. He also talked about how the other officer was holding his hand to his neck towards Grace, and Grace was talking about, oh, I don't know. Okay, well, yeah, maybe he strangled me. All of those charges. Remember my videos before when I talked about the arresting charges? All of those arresting charges were dismissed. You remember when I talked about that? All of those arresting charges were dismissed. And then the new charges came about when they went into that hearing on May 9th. And remember, I told you he was virtual, but she was not. She was in there signing the new affidavit because the prosecution knew that they were going to have to dismiss all those charges because they couldn't prove the strangulation because she wasn't cooperating in regards to the strangulation. So somewhere in there, she realized or sobered up and realized that, he's not going to take her back. He's not going to do that. So, and this is Pam Entertainment and TV's opinion about this, possibly get her lick back or something. You have that witness. You had Mr. Bari get up there, and she basically said, what except for with her own little flair, and with her, instead of really stating on the facts, she wanted to talk about her feelings and talk about her relationship with him, and how it was beautiful and it was good, and she made mention that he did not hit her or strike her. But however, on the day that he chastised her for coming in drunk and drinking and all this other stuff, she decides that she's going to record him being angry and asking her to level up, is what I call it. He asked her to level up, and that wasn't something that she was willing to do, but she was willing to make sure to keep a note of that just in case. She talked about it. She tried to say everything in a roundabout, flowery way, but ended up saying, could not explain. I am afraid, but I chase you 5 blocks. I am afraid, and I'm with these people where there is a level of safety, but I choose to follow behind you again. And then when you realize you get the breakup text, now you're starting to realize there's something wrong. Because I still cannot get over the fact that 13 minutes before the police came, you're lying prostrate in the closet as if you didn't hear. And you're on the phone with your friend talking about, oh, he may have tripped over the suitcase. Oh, he may see the little shrine that she had to their love up. So this tells me these are tactics and things that she has used before. And she was hoping that they were going to work again. I think she did not count on the police being there. I don't think she counted on that. That didn't hash out on her bingo card. So then you have Chloe and White Hat. They testified. You have the driver who testified, and you had the doctor to testify. So basically, everything in that night. Remember, I told you to put a pin on it. Here we go. Let's get real quick. Hold on. Let me take this down for a moment. A few minutes later, as Mr. Majors was trying to find the car so he could escape, Mr. Bari and go to a hotel, Mr. Bari saw Majors again and begged him to get into the car. They get back into the car. That's verified by Zoe and Mr. Whitehot. And before the car door even closed, she immediately resumed her physical assault to steal Mr. Major's phone. This time, she did this in front of the driver and three people standing on the street. Once more, Mr. Majors jumped out of the car and literally ran away to protect himself. Mr. Majors took a taxi directly to a hotel on the Upper East Side and did not see Mr. Barre until approximately 11:13 when he called a handyman to unlock his bedroom door and found her unconscious on the floor of a closet. A witness was on the phone with Mr. Majors when he found his door locked, called the handyman, and discovered Mr. Barre's unconscious body. I wonder if they're going to call the handyman or not. I wonder if he's going to be available for that. I wonder if they're going to call him. I'm wondering who that was on the phone. I think some folks said that they thought maybe it was his manager, Priya. I'm not sure, but remember, we stick that pin in. Now, this is all this night. They subpoenaed security camera footage, so video footage. We have discovered where Mr. Barry went after attacking Mr. Majors. Directly after slapping, cutting, and scratching Mr. Majors, and after ripping his clothes while he tried to escape her. Uh-oh. Mr. Barry went clubbing and entered Lucy's nightclub at the Moxie. Chloe testified to that. Just this fact alone shows that Mr. Barry felt legally and morally entitled to physically assault Mr. Majors. It says here she bought an 800 bottle of shampoo, verified by Chloe. At this point in the video, Mr. Barry uses her right hand, verified in the videos and verified by Chloe. Clearly, Mr. Barry is uninjured, unlike Mr. Majors, who at the same time was hiding in a hotel to protect himself from her and photographing his injuries. We do have copies of those injuries being photographed. Unsurprisingly, having been attacked, assaulted, and injured by Mr. Barry in this public and terrifying way, Mr. Majors wisely ended their relationship and sent her a breakup text, which Mr. Barry did not see for an hour and a half while she was at the nightclub drinking and dancing. What did Mr. Barry do next? All that's verified. I, if I can remember, I think Dee said that. Did we see those text messages? Did they? Is Priya not bringing those text messages in? Let me see what we got. Megan, what do you think about the text? Or her sister's house? That's interesting to me. That is interesting to me that you have a sister that lives in the city that you're in, and you're having, even if you and your sister was estranged, are you estranged to the point where you can't go over to your house? Or is she a sister's like, you're not going to bring the BS over here. You can come over, you can visit, but you're not going to bring the BS over here. That's interesting to me. That's just side. I'm just interested in those types of dynamics as well. She had the card. She could have gotten a room too, but she could have gotten a room. She could have put a down payment on another apartment. I mean, you had the access at that point that there were things that you could do. And he didn't take the card. He knew she had it. I mean, we just have to, understand that he knew she had that. Even at that time when he thanked Chloe, according to Chloe for taking care of her, she knew and he knew she had the card. And sensibly, it would have been okay. I'm going to go home, and then I may get a room for 3 or 4 days if my sister won't let me come back, so I can make a decision. Or she could have just bought her a plane ticket home. Hopefully, it ends before Friday. I hope this ends by Friday. I thought it was going to end last Friday, because if you let me tell it, all of these witnesses that you went through like this today, we could have had them on. We could have had everybody on Friday. Everything that Priya Chaudhry said in April to the police was true. She never deviated to the story. We've seen it all today. Facts. Facts. There has never been a deviation in the story. There's never been, oh, see, no, no, no. What had happened was we did this, this, and this. There's never been a deviation in the story. The story, when you first read it, it sounded so fantastical and comical You did not think it was true. And shout out to Danny for letting us know, oh, those videos were true. Everything that they said that happened, that's what happened. This is what we saw on the video. This is what was thing. Because when you read this, and initially when I read it, it sounded a little comical to me. Like, what? Running down the street? What is going on? But everything that she said and everything that they put in here so far, and I'm coming back up on the screen, uh, has not deviated. Has not deviated. Uh, if you're wondering where that information came from, there is an insider report done. I want to say, was it the June? There was a June or May article that did by Lori Italiano, and I don't know if she's still doing anything for Insider because I haven't seen her or seen her doing anything. I know she was following the Trump trial or something like that, so maybe that's where she has her attention. But these that letter was an attachment on one of those articles. If you want to go and read that, mine's is all, I went through the article, went through the letter and everything like that to get everything. And even when she did her 23-page defense for dismissal, it's the same information. It is the same information. But you're right. Woo! 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 Don't start me. What's your theory? What is your theory? What is your theory? I'd love to hear. I don't. We're gonna start you on your theory. Let me see and know what your theory is. That'll be interested. Yeah, if they're sticking to what everything has played out, you know, it's a not guilty. What did he do? How are you gonna And that always reminds me, and this is just a sidebar of stuff. You know how when schools have the zero tolerance for bullies and things, policies like that, and the bullies are all day, every day terrorizing people. But as soon as the people that they are terrorizing fights back, all of a sudden, oh no, it's zero tolerance. You're not supposed to do anything, but you didn't do or say anything to the bullies that were doing it in the first place. That's what these laws and stuff like that sometimes remind me of. But I know that they're necessary, and I do not want anybody to mishear me, because anybody that is running around here putting their hands on women, anybody's out here putting their hands on folks, y'all need to go to jail. But we have testimony that that is not what he did. She needs to go to jail. But the prosecution made a deal with her because optically it looked better to put a 6 foot 200-pound black man in jail than it would for a 5'5", 5'4", possibly 115 pounds soaking wet British white woman. That's right, y'all. Please make sure to hit that like button. Please click that share. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for this theory. What is this theory? Because this is all I have. We've talked about everything that they were talking about in the news. I just wanted to come over here and make sure that you all heard the information. Those of you all that follow me. Shout out to, and also shout out to Danny, because I was watching a couple of YouTube channels before I went to work, and she was mentioned on big YouTube channels like Emails Reviews. She was also mentioned on Double Toasted. Double Toasted has, like, I think 400 plus thousand folks. She was mentioned on there. Somebody in their discourse chat mentioned Danny in there, pulling that information out. So shout out to her for doing this. I don't know if she's going to do this full time, but this is definitely needed in the court, because now we all see, because I was a big believer of mainstream media, and that, hey, they're going to tell us the information. But I see now it's more of the sensational stuff. If you want to know what's going on, you've got to have somebody in that courtroom giving that information. And I'm so glad that Danny came on my live, and I'm so glad I told her that, hey, if you were going to go and I buy you lunch, and I stepped to my word and I bought her some lunch and she went. So, baby, does anybody have any questions? Any comments or theories? I was still waiting on the theory, but I guess we have to get that later. You can put that in the comments if you want to. If you don't want to, if it was too much to type up here, you definitely can put it in the comments. So what are you all thinking? So this is how I'm gonna get you. Uh, Put a heart, a red heart, if you think that he is going to be. What's your prediction on the verdict? If you think that he's going to be not guilty, put a red heart. Uh, Put a sad face if you think that he's going to be found guilty. So let me see. I think there's still 33 of you all in here. It's a heart if you think he's going to be found not guilty. A sad face if you're going to think he's going to be found guilty. I just want to take a poll to see where you all are thinking at this point. I see a couple of hearts. Nobody else? There's 34 of you all in here. A heart if you think he's going to be not guilty. A sad face if you think he's going to be guilty. I'm just polling. Course correction. I like that name. Course correction. That is a great name for a YouTube channel. Absolutely great name. Heart. Okay. 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 All right. So again, this, like I said, this was a great day for the defense. Like I said, Friday, the prosecution uh got one little piece out, but the rest of their case has always been, to me, sided for the defense. So we have another day. I will be back here. I probably, no, tomorrow's Tuesday. I won't be back here. It will be a recorded video. So I won't be live. It will be a recorded video, but I'll try to post it around the same time. All right. Again, thank you all so much for watching my channel, for watching my shows. I really do appreciate this. I do appreciate all of the new followers that I have received. I'm really appreciative of this. I'm really trying to grow my channel. I started this channel. Basically, my father had passed away, and I was trying to do something that would keep my mind off of that and then be very consistent. So you all make this fun. You all subscribing to me and listening and me review movies, being a casual viewer of Marvel and taking my take on what I see. So I really, really appreciate of you all here. Make sure you share and like this video. Tell a friend, tell a kin, tell your coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.